This one says police confused on mass trial order. Adeboye Kumi defied Twitter ban. The Nigerian Tribune. Twitter ban. Nigerians must have free access to self-expression. US envoy. Let's talk.
The Twitter ban is still the biggest story in the country this Tuesday. I hope it changes tomorrow. But you can see that it's been an aggregate of opinions from across the country. Nasir El-Rufai, a minister close to the government, who I think will support the Twitter ban, was tweeting on Sunday. So Abubakar Malami, Attorney General, that's your first man. Prosecute him in court. Okay, he has immunity. Keep it for later. But then, again, there was the cleric gentleman, E.O. Adeboye. And yes, and then of course Mr. Kumuyi as well, who said that I do not understand your ban because, as far as I know, Twitter and the right to even express ourselves is guaranteed in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights by United Nations. I run a global church in 117 countries. I am tweeting clearly, and they tweeted the same thing. Kumuyi said that this is a matter of by alliances. They are global. My churches are abroad, and they tweet at me. I tweet at them. So I cannot understand this your ban. It really does not affect me in that sense. That's what the clerics are saying, and they come from a point of view of a protection of their rights, under freedom of expression, which is guaranteed again by the UN Declaration, the Charter on Human Rights. So the question is, the government is in the dilemma really as to how to prosecute people who use Twitter because they've banned it. And let's not forget, this is not China, because somebody told me yesterday, if Chinese government bans something, can you use it? Do we describe China as a democracy? I've forgotten that Nigeria is a democracy. Yeah. It's a country of laws, of rule of law, protection of fundamental human rights, fundamental laws guide the action of the people. It's a democracy. It's not a fascist country. It's not a communist enclave. So we must understand that if the government insists, then it's the government that's violating the law, that's breaking the law. In that regard, regulations are okay. The government have the power to regulate these things, but outright ban calls to question, the constitutionality of such bans. For instance, policemen are saying that if you arrest people who violate, because I hear that police old people in their cars now and see if they're using Twitter. If I arrest somebody who is using Twitter, how do I prosecute him? Under what law? Under what law will the charges be brought against us? What has he done? It's the question. So we'll see how this pans out indeed. But if you ask me, I think the government is fighting a battle it cannot win. This is an area where the government doesn't have the skills, doesn't have the expertise. And I'm very interested in see how the talk go on, because yesterday, Geoffrey Onyema, the Minister for Foreign Affairs, had to call the 5 big ambassadors, the US, the UK, Ireland, and the EU, who have shown interest in this matter. Yeah. And Mary Beth Leonard, the US ambassador, told them in very clear terms. She said, I will say first that we recognize that there are areas of responsible use of social media, but we remain firm on our position that free access to the ability to express oneself is actually very important, perhaps on one part, but also in these troubled times. Advise the government to use judicial process to deal with people who commit crimes, not to constrain them from using platforms of the media. So I don't know if the Nigerian government is at this point ready to engage these 5. I'm not sure we have the tolerance or ability or even the diplomatic prowess to engage the United States, United Kingdom, European Union in the battle of wit. I doubt that. So Mr. Onyema said they have set conditions. They have set certain conditions. One of them is responsible use of that platform, social Twitter, and that one, all that is agreed. The ban is temporary, is the suspension even, So I think talks are ongoing. Twitter have also committed themselves to talking, because on both sides, everybody is losing. Yesterday we saw massive numbers of how much entrepreneurs are losing because Twitter is not working in this country. We might think that maybe those numbers are fabricated, but the truth is that a lot of business goes on Twitter, as an e-commerce platform. And we cannot deny the fact that a lot of people also feed their families and earn a living and decent wages by engaging in those platforms. In fact, I am one of them. There have been times when people have said to me, please help me tweet this, and they give me small thing. I cannot lie. I'm not an influencer of that large scale, but small things still come, and I think it is affected now.
Influencer.
So what I'm trying to say there is that the government have to look at this economics, the economics of the Twitter ban, and consider that this is not just about security and democracy. It's also about livelihoods. It's also about livelihoods. And at the end of the day, let all sides win. But as a matter of an action the government has taken, they have dabbled into an area where they don't have the skills and the expertise. And if anybody is going to lose, it's the government that probably lose. The outrage has been clear. The government cannot say this combination of outrage is a gang up. No, it's the reality of how people have tried to reflect this ban. It doesn't come out well. It doesn't come out well because we're even a democracy. People have tried to take the government to court. Yesterday, the government, through one of its agencies, also issued directives to media organizations, their broadcast schedule, to deactivate Twitter handles. Most of the radio stations and TV stations will get instructions, say, we will obey now, but meet me in court. Because I cannot understand your directive violates my right to freedom and expression of the media. But we'll obey first and then we'll meet you in court. This is how people are behaving towards this ban. It doesn't come out well. And I say the government is that. I understand the government's argument. Onyema said it yesterday. The government wants to be able to protect Nigeria's sovereignty within the abuse like distasteful information, misinformation, disinformation, fake news, and hate speech. The government has the right to do that, but you must do that within the context of the freedom that people also enjoy, by expressing themselves, whether it's social media or traditional media.
All right, it's time to read your messages. Send it to 0817-313.
Did you enjoy this video? Hit the subscribe button for more. Leave a comment and like. Thank you.